you will be knowing. Okay, so let me go through first what is SAP HANA basically is. Most of the users know by this today, but still I just want to brief about what exactly is SAP HANA. So HANA is an in-memory database. So irrespective of whatever we discuss about HANA administration or anything, so it's an in-memory database right now, which is a replacement of any other database what we are using right now in the market for an SAP products like Oracle, SQL Server, or DB2, or Ingress, or whatever the other database which we are using basically as a backend for an SAP products like an ERP, ECC, or SRM, or SCM, or whatever the products CRM. Okay, that's the main reality basically right now which we need to think about. So it's a database platform. So the database, and again, when SAP is trying to replace the existing database, so it's very difficult to change the existing database. So what they have tried to do is they made it as an in-memory database so that the fastest database which is available in the market. That's what exactly SAP is trying to do. So SAP HANA is an in-memory database and an application platform which runs the operations 10 to 1,000 times faster than the regular database like Oracle or SQL Server or some other database on the same hardware which we are using it. So it is nothing but a design of the database is completely different when compared to the regular database. That's what a HANA is. So there are various reasons. I'll just brief about the various reasons. Let me stop my screen. I'll get my HANA introduction session another screen. Oh, giving just give me another 10 seconds to show my screen. Yeah, I'm getting same screen again and again. So let me brief. I hope you can see my screen. I have some. Can you see my screen now? So this is the standard introduction which I'm going to brief about. When users know about HANA, if you know about HANA, still it may be a recap for you. Okay, so most of the times, the main reality right now, which we are talking about, the information explosion, consumerization of IT, and IT cannot deliver. These are the three realities which we are talking about right now for the replacement of any other database coming to HANA database. So right now when we are trying to use SAP as a backend for something like a SAP front end and a backend for other database which you're using. So for example, when the user is trying to retrieve finance data, So, or when the user is trying to retrieve data marts or information cubes from a different sources. So what exactly is, it takes a lot of time for the user to retrieve the data. So this is because of a day-to-day database is increased, or all lot of data from past 4 years, 5 years, which we have maintained in our system. So, and you have thousands and thousands of records and millions of records which are accumulated. Instead of accumulated, better to say a business data is increased, and the user is trying to retrieve the business data, but we are unable to show it. This is one is the main problem due to speed of your machine or the type of the algorithms the user is trying to retrieve. There are a lot of various reasons which we can say. So that is the main reality right now. First one which we see, information explosion. So right now we have information which is available from the various sources and from various systems or servers, and we're trying to retrieve the data and we're trying to display in a faster way. Every user expects the data in seconds. Just imagine when you try to retrieve or when you try to enter data in google.com, if it takes half an hour for your search query, how frustrates you? How it frustrates. So that's what exactly the user expects. User thinks about. Everybody thinks immediately the moment I enter, I need to get my data. So the business user expects the same thing. So as per the theory, every 1.5, 18 months, the information is getting doubled. So if the information is getting doubled, how exactly we are going to provide that kind of an information? That's the reality. The second reality is consumerization of IT. So people expect, as I mentioned, everything instantly, and they want correct answers to their questions, whatever they ask for. So at a moment, the incident should happen. The moment I click on something, automatically it should display the data. So that is one. If you observe irregular transactions when we are trying to enter in SAP, how many hours sometimes the financial data, basic tables or any cube which is the ES of data, when we try to show how much time it is going to take to retrieve the data. So that is the consumerization. So the third one is the reality is whether IT can deliver all these things. So what is mean by an IT? IT is just a software which is installed on top of an hardware. So whether with the help of that can we change? It's not possible every time only an IT, because we need a faster machines. So the reality is IT cannot deliver the expected results what the business users are expecting for the various business processes. So the user cannot deliver it. So what we expect basically as a administrator, give me a faster machine so that you will get a immediate response based on that. So these are the various reasons basically we are looking for to go within a faster machine. So the reality here is if I replace my database in the faster way, then automatically I can do some of the things or up to some extent whatever you are expecting. So why we can say up to or even I don't want to use the percentage here, how much percentage it is going to improve, but you can just see the numbers 300 times faster than the regular things which you are seeing, or even depends on the way the sizing which you are going to do of the machine, definitely it is faster. One is the speed. So HANA is a combination of a hardware and a software. It's not just a hardware or it's just not a software. It needs a combination of a hardware and a software. For a specific database sizing, for a specific machine you require. People can try to install anywhere, as a basis guys, you all see a lot of things, the manipulations of installations. Okay, so I will not deny that fact, but for a specific database, you need a specific size of the hardware. That is the sizing. If you fail in the sizing, automatically you will fail tomorrow to get this 300x faster than the regular. This is analytics 300x. That's why you're saying. If it are BW on HANA. Okay, so the ground-making reality, which what we will say, so depends on the size of the database. If you follow the proper sizing guidelines, automatically your machine will deliver the result as expected, like 300 times faster in the analytics or 1,000 times faster in the transaction side. So like that you will get. So this is all the data which you are trying to get on top of any real-time transaction data also, which you can see. That's what HANA is basically. So it is in hardware technology innovation with respect to multi-core architecture. We will discuss in brief about that. And it's a software technology innovation in terms of a database using column database or row database, which is not new if you observe. We are using column database when in terms of BW, or we are using row database anyway for every database. See, every database normally uses row database tables. So we have a column database tables also here. So in terms of software, we have an architecture difference. In terms of hardware, we have a multi-core architecture. So that's what exactly an in-memory is. So how the in-memory will increase the speed? Just assume a normal discussion, then I will brief about what is SAP HANA course. So this is the architecture which you are seeing on my screen. So what exactly as a part of an SAP HANA you will be getting, or which you will be dealing with. So SAP HANA, you'll deal with a studio, information composer, a database, a replication, and BODS integrators for transferring the data from SAP or non-SAP. Like that, this is an architecture of an SAP HANA irrespective of any landscape which you are trying to. So this is the HANA proof prints which I mentioned about 3,600 times faster reporting speed which you will get if you follow the proper guidelines of the sizing, and 460 billion records. This was tested. That's why 460B. So 3,600 times basically they tested on the proper sizing machine 460 billions of records. Then this number they were when compared, let's say like this. And a table to retrieve is taking 1 hour normally. If we implement SAP HANA and the table was able to retrieve and show the result in 1 second. So 3,600 seconds to 1 second, that's what, 1 hour. Okay, that's what the comparison is on 460 billion records. Earlier it was taking 1 hour, now I'm showing it in 1 second. That's the comparison exactly for the HANA proof points. So when coming to SAP HANA, we get SAP HANA in various ways: platform edition, enterprise edition, extended enterprise also we have. So there are multiple components in the landscape which we will brief further. So let me discuss about how this is really possible to go further about SAP HANA in terms of this bottlenecks, how to remove. We are trying to keep all the data in the memory. Normally, what's the computer architecture which we discuss? From a hard disk or a disk storage, the data will travel to your memory, and from there it is going to display in your presentation screen. So it's a reverse now. So in between the data, just assume data is 100 GB. Out of 100 GB I'm trying to access, there is an input-output bottleneck which can take only some amount of data at a certain point of time. And from there, I have very less memory. People may use 100 MB RAM, 100 MB RAM, or 200 MB RAM, 300 MB RAM, or 1 tera RAM like that. I don't think so. 2 tera, 3 tera. Beyond that, nobody will be using for even the ECC kind of a machine. Depends on the number of users. So we are trying to display this 40 GB data of one table through 1 tera RAM. So there is an input-output bottleneck. Reverse the scenario. So the entire data, this 40 GB or 200 tera or 200 GB or 300 GB of your data, if I straight away keep it in memory, from there if I display, I don't have an input-output bottleneck to display the data. So I'm trying to keep my entire database in the RAM. For theoretically, it may feel something like how I can keep it in the RAM. Why? RAM is a volatile memory. The moment I shut down, automatically the data will be removed from my RAM. So that is theoretical. Whereas in terms of a practical, we have a mechanism to save the data in the backend, and you can load it again when you restart your machine. That's what the backup and recovery. There are a lot of techniques which we follow here. Okay. So if you see at the time of installation of SAP HANA, all these doubts will be erased in one moment. Okay, till the time everybody will have this kind of a doubts. So that's what exactly HANA is trying to do. So let me go through first the HANA course content, what exactly we'll be discussing in details. So first topic we will discuss about as a part of a HANA introduction, we will discuss about the various HANA releases. So HANA basically is planned to release every year twice, 2 releases. So that's what exactly they are trying to do till another 1 or 2 years. Because if you observe, right now we are in SP09 version. Right now we are using it, and our session also is based on SP09. So every year there are 2 releases for SAP HANA. So we'll be briefing about the previous releases, what are the options, and what are the features they provided, and the present release, what kind of what kind of features which we are getting. So that's what the first discussion which we will go through. The second one is I will brief about the sizing of an SAP HANA, as I keep on mentioning earlier. If you follow the proper sizing automatically, the system will be faster. So we'll brief about SAP HANA sizing, whether it is a BW, whether it is a regular ECC, or any other server, depends on the size of the database what you have at present. So that's what we will discuss as a part of the second session. And in the third session, we will brief in the third unit, we will discuss about the installation of SAP HANA with respect to the SAP HANA lifecycle. We'll discuss about that. And we will install SAP HANA, and each of the user who are participating will have a facility to install on your own SAP HANA in the machine. So SAP HANA will be installed on top of the Linux. So we are not discussing much of the Linux, but only thing is what is required for you to install the license. So in Linux, I'll brief the commands. If you know Linux, which is really good. So the second one is there are 2 ways you can install HANA. One is a graphical way, other one is using commands. So both the ways I'm going to show you how you can install SAP HANA. So after that session, we will discuss about post-installation of an SAP HANA, what exactly which we need to do, or something like you have content like Shine content, or we have another topic also, SAP HANA Live. So those contents, how to deploy HANA Live. Okay, that is 900. H900. So I'll be briefing about post-installation, about the content, how to deploy as a part of that. Once we are done with, then we will discuss briefly about the entire architecture and the scenarios of an SAP HANA. So what exactly the architecture we discuss basically here is how you can use SAP HANA engine in various scenarios. So one is a sidecar scenario, another one is ECC on HANA, and we call it as a business suite on HANA, or business suite powered by HANA, or BW powered by HANA, whatever it is, powered by HANA. So in these areas, what are the scenarios normally an end user or a developer is trying to use SAP HANA? That's what we discuss about in brief about the architecture place. Because the way they use, we should be in a position to provide that part. And the next we discuss about the admin tools, about SAP HANA Studio, the various tools which they have provided right now. Related to the administration we will discuss, because SAP HANA Studio is for an administrators as well as for the developers, as well as for the modelers, as well as for the testers. For various users, HANA Studio is one destination. Okay, so there are various ways which we can see about HANA. The next what we will do is we will discuss about migration steps of an SAP HANA. So in the migration we will brief the various steps, how exactly as a part of a DMO which we can do the migration process. So I'll brief about the migration in detail further as a part of a topic. So next we will discuss about operations. So as you are seeing my screen, so what are the operations? I'm not able to show. Okay, this is my HANA server. So as a part of an operations which we will discuss about how to start and stop SAP HANA, or how we are going to do the configuration of an SAP HANA, or the table administration, how you are going to do, and various periodic tasks for an SAP HANA which you need to take care, how you can do the transportation. So these are the various topics which we will discuss as a part of HANA operations. The next topic which we will discuss basically is backup and recovery. So as a part of a backup and recovery, how you can take a data backup or a log backup, or what are the topics which where any other backup operations which you need to know in terms of a theory, because we use a concept called save point here. So what are the very different topics which you need to know? So when the system shutdowns, how much time automatically it should recover, either it is 5 minutes, 10 minutes. So everything which we will discuss, that is what additional topics is. And at the same time, the recovery and how you can do the recovery, whether you can do with storage snapshots or with your physical backup, which we have exist. So how you restore those things basically, which we will discuss. So the next topic which we will discuss about the monitoring. So in the monitoring, so we will discuss about, as you are seeing, the configuration, configuring traces, or how the query analysis works, or in terms of the various traces which are available as a part of a trace configuration in this machine, HANA machine, how you can activate the trace functions, how to check the traces. So these are the various ways which we will discuss about monitoring and troubleshooting place. So how to activate the SQL trace, or What about the JDBC of the machine? So these are a regular monitoring topic of administrators wise. At the same time, how you can diagnosis information. So we have open diagnosis files for analysis, how you have to delete or merge the files, from where you have to download all this file, how you can collect and download the information for the diagnosis. These are the things which we will be briefing about as a part of the monitoring and troubleshooting. So further in the same topic, we will be working with again collection of various files, or you can just say, I'll not say it's an auditing side, but a kind of a way how you are going to discuss about various files which are in part of the HANA. We'll discuss about the SQL console, because when we say, as I started saying, HANA is a database, in-memory database. So obviously HANA contains an SQL editor. So how we can use with an SQL editor. So those things basically which we will discuss as a part of monitoring. Moving further, so we have a next topic is security. So we will discuss about the various, like how you are going to provide authentications and authorizations, what kind of an encryption we use, how to work with an audit, how you are going to edit the, enable the audit policy, or the entire security policies, what exactly something like a different implementation scenarios, what kind of a security perspective which we need to maintain. So these things basically we discuss as a part of a security. So we have authorization separate topic. So we'll discuss as a part of an authorizations how basically you can maintain users and roles for the various privileges. Basically depends on the type of the user, even like you maintain DDAC and SAP star, the same way here system is user is the master user. So at the same time, a developer, so you have a privileges like regularly which you used to maintain the transactions. Those privileges continue if it is a business suite on HANA. I am going to brief those. Apart from that, when it comes to, in terms of the database, for a developer, modeler, administrator, or any kind of a user, what kind of a privilege which you need to provide. So those things which we will discuss in detail as a part of users authorizations. Moving further, so we'll discuss about high availability. So disaster recovery, about the scale out operations of the SAP HANA in terms of whenever the server is down, how automatically the second server need to turn on, without delay for the business users, how automatically the scale out operations. So this is based on the vendors. Every vendor is having a different architecture. So those things which we'll be discussing. So further which we will discuss is the migration topics, the DMO procedure. We will discuss how you can do the migrations, what are the various migration options for SAP HANA. I will brief about that, and we'll brief about how to prepare, how to work with the DMO procedure. I'm going to show you how in terms of screens, because it requires solution manager integration and everything, which is not possible the live to show only this topic, and rest everything I can show live. Only this is the only DMO integration, because which you required a solution manager integration. From there I need to connect to SAP to download, from there to proceed. So that is the only one topic which I cannot. But I can give you all the screenshots which we have done earlier. So that's what this topic will continue. And the next one, last topic which we maintain here is HANA Live. When you are working with a business suite on HANA, so normally what you have SAP provides analytics now for a business suite on HANA. So that doesn't mean you're going to replace the business warehouse concepts, not that way. So they are providing analytics for the business suite. So you can deploy SAP HANA Live components HANA Business Suite on HANA so that you get all the modeling, predefined modeling which are provided from an SAP. You can feel it once I show that. So these are the various topics which we'll be discussing. The course will go like this basically. See, for example, this is my SAP HANA Studio. So another IP I'm trying to get. So if you observe my screen, so let me go just right now with the help of a VNC to show my HANA server. So you'll be providing a HANA server with the help of two ways. I'm not able to move my mouse here. Just a minute, please. Yeah. Okay. So we'll be providing a software here on the Linux. I'm going to show how basically hands-on. I don't want to use the words always hands-on. Okay. So you can install SAP HANA on your own for every user on. Okay. So one is a remote VNC which we provide. The second way is through PuTTY, which also you can try and you can connect to SAP HANA server. Both the ways we are trying to provide. Okay. So you can install SAP HANA from here. This is SP09. If I am on this machine, you can just see the various components of an SAP HANA when the server is available. Okay, so as this is a Linux base and SAP HANA can be installed only on the Linux operating system. So only the front-end tools can be installed on various different platforms, but the HANA server is available only on the Linux operating system. That's why we need to go for SOC Linux 11 point and the support pack 1 and 2 also, right now 3 which we are trying to work on. Okay, so I will show you how to install on the Linux machine, which you can observe here. The second one is if you observe the studio. So in the studio we have various so the entire administration functions which we operate from the studio only. So if you observe here SAP Administration Console, HANA Modeler, or an ABAP, so all the operations related to administration, development, modeling, everything the user will be done from a studio. So apart from this is a 64 GB RAM machine if you observe my screen. So this is a 64 GB RAM machine. For a practice we are going to provide another machine for the users to work on. So if you observe SAP HANA, as I showed earlier, apart from the installation or from a file backup, you don't need any other way to touch your server because Linux is more secured, you all know. So apart from those two areas, I don't need a Linux machine to operate all the operations whatever we have here, which we will start doing it only from, because I don't need to go here every time. I can do all my operations only from a studio itself. If you observe my administration console here, I can do a backup here only. I can do my life cycle management here only. I can do the configuration and monitoring here only. I can take care of my landscapes, alerts, my volumes, my configurations, auditing, and further, if you observe here, expand my security in terms of, sorry, I was keep on clicking, so it takes time. For a remote mission, I'm trying to keep on clicking various bits. And I try to open again one more session when the one session was available. Server is first, not the UI. When you try to open an SAP HANA Studio by default, I think most of the users are familiar with NetWeaver Developer Studio. This is also same. It is on top of an Eclipse platform. We are trying to add all the SAP libraries. So we are using Eclipse again here also for an SAP HANA. So earlier which you saw an editor, how we can make use of the editor, we'll discuss. These are the various users and the different roles which you can provide for the users, and we'll discuss about all these things. And if I double click, you can just observe the various privileges which you can provide and which privileges for what, which we will be discussing about all those things. Okay? Because you have a lot of privileges here. Just in normal PFCG and the roles how we are going to maintain. The same way, it depends on the type of the users which we will discuss about this concept. So this is about SAP HANA will be. So as a part of the course, which we have various exercises, you can install on your own SAP HANA. I'm going to show with the GUI as well as with the help of the commands, and you can update the support pack, and you can install Shine content or the live content, both the ways you can try, and you can connect to your HANA database. This is the exercise which I'm showing right now. Database operations and the administration consoles, and you can monitor SAP HANA, and you can check with the DBA cockpit, and you can work with the HANA database SQL. One is with the commands and the open editor, we can work on that way. You can manually start and stop. I mean to say, one is in the Linux machine, or you can check with the studio itself. You can start and stop up the SAP HANA server. So these are all the exercises which I'm going to show. And you can configure the SAP HANA Studio for the various users, because you require tomorrow ABAPer is going to a business suit on HANA, so the ABAPer is going to come and he will going to add. So you need to update. So you need to configure. And you can work with the table administrations, different types of the tables which we have, loading the memory of the tables, unloading memory from unloading the tables from the memory. So there are various things which we'll discuss. And further, we are going to discuss about the monitoring of an SAP HANA administration console. A backup and recovery also as a part of this session. I will show you how to take a backup, how to restore a backup, both the procedures which I will show, and how to configure the traces, which I can show you here as a part of a configuration of the HANA traces, and working with the various files, because I'm going to tell the various tables what are the important tables which you need to take care of, and what are the files, the configurations of those files. And I'll brief a little more about the audit policy because once you enable audit, any user, when he's trying to do any simple operations, which you will come to know, like this user touched this table, this user logged it at this server. So there are a lot of various ways the audit in which you can utilize it tomorrow. Who took the backup? Who restored? Which user restored the backup? Maybe you are having all the roles, but still as a part of an auditing, which each and every operations which is performed by a user will come to know once you enable the auditing. So those tables, which tables you need to look for the auditing purpose, those things which I will discuss. And further, in the end, we'll discuss about the user management completely, what kind of a roles which you need to provide for the various users. So these are the various exercises which I can show hands-on on HANA system, and the rest which you can practice basically. So for every, except the first two sessions, for all other sessions, except the migration, again, one more. Okay, so all other sessions basically hands-on, which you can feel and which you can see also. This way HANA course goes. I was trying to show in the first screen the various, correct? So these are the various components of an SAP HANA when you try to, that's what, when you try to see under the Linux machine. You have a database, studio, client, information composer, client packages, information access, replication add-on, business object data services, BXC. So these are basically, again, enterprise. So we don't need to see this enterprise. We will discuss much more. So if you observe my screen again now, see the various tools. When you buy SAP HANA, what are all you are going to get? You have test tools, you have a Hadoop controller, you have installation kit, file, the Linux files, HANA tools, client tools, HANA database, HANA Studio, Smart Data Access, Database Control Center. So we have various tools which you will get once you buy an SAP HANA. So it depends on the type of an platform you're going to buy. One is a platform edition, enterprise edition. You will be getting other things like SLT, system landscape transformation, when you want to transfer, or the data transfer techniques. You can do the transfer of the data from an SAP HANA to SAP HANA, or from an SAP HANA. Either you can use SLT, which you'll get from an enterprise edition, or you can go with a BODS concept, or you can go with a file concept. So all these tools, type of platform which you are going to buy. So based on that you will get. So these are the various platforms which we will be discussing, what you will be getting as you are seeing my screen. So this is the HANA landscape, irrespective of the users are. One is your data providers, other one is your SAP HANA, and the third one is how you are going to see the reporting. That's what I was trying to show in the screen also. This is in terms of an administrator. If you visualize, I was trying to show here in terms of a software, if you visualize the architecture. So that is the only difference. The same image, the image is different, but the concept is same. One is you can just see, okay, I have ECC server, I have this, I have this. One is right hand side, if you see some graphs, a bar chart, which is the reporting. And the middle is the SAP HANA, and the left hand side, if you observe SAP ECC server or a BW server or third party server. The same concept here depicts. This is my SAP HANA, business object clients, BI solutions, which are my clients, and this is SAP applications. So how we visualize the image. So I will brief more once you know the architecture and the scenarios concept, as I mentioned in fifth concept here. Okay, once you are aware about the unit 5, you can visualize about entire SAP HANA, various ways these images basically. So I'll brief about the SAP HANA landscape in detail. This is the SAP HANA in-memory engine. As a part of an SAP HANA database engine, what exactly it contains: a rows engine, a column engine, a page memory, persistence layer, a disk storage, a transaction manager, session management, and all these things which we are controlling with the help of a studio administration and module. So we'll discuss more about this. Okay, so as you observe, I'll brief about here, sorry, in the screen. See. Once you install SAP HANA, I think normally we just see in a regular system about regular ECC, if we observe with other database, a background process, an update process. So there are various processes which will be observing the same way in the database server of SAP HANA. We'll be observing here the various servers: index server, name server, preprocess server, X engine, script server. So why all these servers? Basically, for what purpose? We'll be discussing in detail about this. Okay, so each and every tab which you are seeing anyway, we'll be discussing. So this is about the scale-out solution which I was talking about, installation file structure of an SAP HANA. Okay, so these are all the various topics anyway. If you keep on discussing in one session, it is very difficult to brief up entire SAP HANA. So as a part of the sessions are concerned, which we'll be discussing HA200, HA250, and HA900, which covers the entire administration concepts of an SAP HANA. That's what our course main agenda is. And as I mentioned here, so each and every topic will have a hands-on exercise which you can work, and you can install SAP HANA on your own with the help of the provider, where he is going to provide the installation details to you. So this is all a simple concept of an SAP HANA administration. As a first session, I welcome all the questions so that we can have some question answer interactive session. It's easy for everybody to get an idea what exactly we are going to discuss, what kind of questions you have in terms of sessions. Both I can cover. If you can raise the hand, I can unmute and we can have the question answers. So I can see Pamela, Srinivas, Vardhan, Viresh, Nandam, anyone. You just raise the hand, Krishna or Monvesh. Okay, I'll just brief one by one. Let me unmute Monvesh. Yes, please. You're unmuted.
Hi, actually, thanks for walking us through this. I have a basic question. So the skill set required for this, would you assume that you would need prior basis experience to actually learn and actually use this in real life? Can you hear me?
Simple and tough question. Okay, both the ways I have to say this question. As far as the HANA is concerned, it's a database. Okay. So when you are trying to, the answer is yes. Without basis also the users can learn this topic. It is not for the sake of the training. It is just for you to brief now. So how SAP HANA is used in the landscape of the companies. Okay. So there are something like this. And I'm going to answer this question in two ways. First answer is you can learn without basis concept. The second one is you need basis concept. Both the ways I'm going to answer. In a company or an organization, one basis guy is not going to work with the entire SAP HANA or an SAP system is going to maintain. There are various basis administrators or basis guys or administrators will be a part of an organization. One is not sufficient. every role is different. When I'm looking in that aspect, every role is different. The answer is yes, you don't need a basis. Okay. When other way, if you look, a basis guy who is learning SAP HANA administration, he will be having an advantage. The advantage where it is a type of the scenario, as I mentioned, point number 5, the architecture. Am I using business suite on HANA, or am I using business warehouse on HANA, or am I using a sidecar scenario? HANA is for a modeling, or HANA is for to transfer the data to speed up the operations. So every administrator is different here. So in these kind of scenarios, your prior experience matters, your prior experience does not matter. If you are looking for a HANA administrator, you don't need any other basis experience. If you are a basis experience and you're looking for an HANA administrator, your role can be a different way. If, for example, a simple way, I have a HANA server which is installed because an organization can use HANA server as a sidecar scenario, we call it as, or powered by HANA. Even if I am using powered by HANA, if the administrator belongs to HANA Studio side, you don't need a basis administration. If an administration belongs to a transaction-based screen side, when that guy belongs to a basis guy. So these are the various ways which you can look. The course which we are going to deal, I assume I am not going to touch a transaction-based HANA server. That's what an administration we need to learn. A transaction-based HANA server, if I touch, what is going to happen basically? Again, I have to tell about a PFCG role maintenance or ECC and HANA. What exactly ECC and HANA installation, which I have to tell here? Because most of the users know when they try to install Oracle or a SQL server, on top of that they will install an application server of an SAP ECC or a CRM or anything. It's a regular procedure. I don't want to repeat those procedures here. This is completely an HANA administration. An answer for you is yes, because all types of users will exist in the administration world. Okay? I hope I answered with a limited time.
Yeah, just a follow-up. So basically,
Okay.
if we want to use this knowledge for implementations, for example, many companies these days they're on ECC, right? Standard ECC, and they want to move to ECC on HANA.
Yes.
So does this training course cover some of those topics?
ECC and HANA will cover here because HANA is the main thing when it comes to ECC and HANA. Okay, HANA is the main topic when in terms of sizing or how we are going to operate the HANA server. So obviously everything covers except your transaction based. I mean to say which role you have to assign to the users or which transaction code by going there we need to work. You don't need those concepts because those are the basis concepts of a regular SAP. Apart from that, all other things will be covered because that basis will not change any point of time in the SAP. Okay. And other ways, there are multiple administrators need to participate. So all those concepts, even if you observe this screen, this is a ECC and HANA mission only. So you can just get an idea what exactly. This is a ECC and HANA only, the machine which you saw earlier. But that's why it is just a 64 GB because there is no IDES servers which you are going to get right now. It's just a normal server without database. So it can be installed on with this kind of a 64 GB RAM. This is a ECC and HANA machine only. So that's why you are seeing ABAP perspective for the ABAPers to add and work here. So the advantage here is, so for every other users who are here, I have a table which is available. For example, I have a Mara table which is available. A Mara table can be accessed. So this may be one of the way you can understand. A Mara table can be accessed by using SC11 or SC16, and the ABAPer can start programming using SE38 or SE80, the various object navigator and all those things. So he used various ways of programming there, like function module development or routine development or whatever it is. The same table, I can use it in the studio and I can start working with an Mara table, a material master table. So what's the difference there? So the way the end user or the programmer or the modeler is trying to use the existing system, how you provide. When it comes to HANA Studio and a Mara table is trying to do, whether he is having an access or not, a HANA administrator can decide here. When it goes to the back end of the SE11 and SE16 transaction code, let's think about a regular basis, guys. At the same time, when it comes to HANA Studio, whether I can provide a schema under the schema particular table, can I provide an object privilege for the user? So that is the various reason how the administration is divided here. The basis users can keep on continuing the back end of the regular transaction days, but that is limited once you are on the top of the HANA. Why? Because all the operations and the users are trying to work through this. Okay? Does this answer your question?
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Anyone else, please? Yeah, I have two hands raised. One is Pamela and second one is Srinivas. I'll go in order. Thank you. Pamela, please, I unmuted you. Yes, please.
Okay, thank you. I was just wondering if can you use SAP HANA Studio to set up like a data mining application that can be used on a mobile device like an iPad, or am I that isn't part of this?
Okay, there are various ways to say. Okay, if you can repeat your question again, your question only contains answer. If you repeat your question, I will tell you.
Okay. My question was, can you create an application that is like a data mining application, that and use that can be handed to a user to be able to just, pull this information daily, something like that. They click a report on an iPad, click it, and it comes up with the information. Is that what this studio application does, or am I going too far with this?
Yeah. See, in terms of a mobile or an iPad or any other external device for an SAP, it is just a view for us. A HANA developer is trying to develop a view with the help of, see, for example, I'll just show you. It's a simple way. Let me take any one of the table. I'll take any one of the table here, just for you to get a brief idea immediately. I'm taking the Mara table here. I'll right click here. You don't have this kind of a luxury in a regular SAP transaction based machines. Okay. So this is, I think someone is trying to ping me. Please be on the mute and definitely unmute everyone one by one. See, this is the data, 1,000 rows which I'm trying to display. So Mara table, basically this is a view. I can double click here. I can generate a view. Okay. I can go with the various types of the chart. The chart which I'm trying to show is wrong because of the type of the data which I have taken. It should be column axis or row axis a different way. I just want to show the various ways. Okay, so this kind of luxury we don't have in other ways for you to visualize in the backend system of a regular SAP. So this is one advantage with the help of Information Composer. They try to embed it. So this view, what we are trying to do is for your mobile device, for example. I mentioned about the architecture here. See, there's a various way. That's why I say always architecture is important. I have a business objects. If I can expose the view to the business objects, through a business objects, you have a business objects mobile solution. From there you can see entire analysis in the mobile. Either it can be your iPad or your iOS platform or your Android platform or your Windows platform, whatever it is, which is possible. Only thing is business object solution can call that view, whatever the user is created. From there, the user can see that. Does this answer your question? Or you're looking anything else?
Sorry, I unmuted. Yeah, it does, except I was asking more, can the solution be used by itself? You don't have to have the SAP Business Objects BI solution?
Okay. No. Why? Because HANA Studio is an administration and a development and a modeling platform. From a studio, you can use an external application to call whatever you are doing it. But a mobile is a different platform altogether. It's again iOS platform and Android platform. Those platforms, to get an adaptability, some connector need to travel, the data to travel. So that connector I'm talking about a BI solutions tools or an SMP 3.0 platform right now we have, and we have a new browser also there, or we can use a different way but not straight away. A HANA Studio only can be called in the iOS, not like that. You need a different platform to call this to some other place. Say for example, in
Okay.
I have an answer for this.
Okay.
An ECC or a business suite platform which is deployed using Fiori apps. Those apps can be straight away. You can see basically on mobile, for example. An employee data, okay, for you to I'm just taking one more, 2 more minutes for you to brief this. In this, I have a Fury or not, I don't know. I don't have a Fury URL here, otherwise I can show. For example, right now SAP released around 400 plus applications, okay, which is with the help of an SAP HANA Studio or we develop. Okay, I don't want to use the technology. Okay, let's say SAP UI5. You might have heard about SAP UI5 or HTML5 is the old concept. SAP UI5. With the help of an SAP UI5, if you can develop an application, okay, now I can get it. Yeah, I can say the answer is yes. Okay. With the help of an SAP UI5, if you develop an application, that application URL you can straight away call in your iPad or any Android device or an iOS device. Those applications are a kind of a native applications you can feed for your mobility platform. Okay? But the development is different.
Oh, okay, so could I create a Microsoft Access program that ODBC to HANA database, and it would be really quick as a data mining tool?
Yes.
Awesome.
Only thing is, once you do that, then you develop a Fiori application, then that application is, for example, most of the website right now which you are seeing, which is coming with a HTML5 platform, where either you can open that website on your a laptop or in your desktop or in your tablet or your mobile. The look and feel is in. It is as per the device, the entire screen will be adjusted, correct? The same way you have a Fiori applications which are deployed on top of the HANA, particularly analytics are deployed completely by SAP on top of only HANA database. Those are straight away can be called from the mobile platforms. Okay, yeah, I can answer some more in a later sessions. I think one more participant is waiting. Sorry. Can I move, please?
Yes, thank you. That answered my question.
Yes, Universe.
Yeah, hi. Could you able to hear me?
Yes, please.
Okay. Yeah, Raghu, so I think like your name is Raghu, am I right?
No, my name is not Raghu. No problem. It's a Kumar. No problem.
I'm sorry because I'm looking at
okay. It does not matter.
It's nice to hear your conversation. It was quite good. I had some questions like okay, maybe it could be more like okay. I'm looking from the from the outside world like okay here by completing this course like okay how far this is going to be helpful like okay when I get into the outside world, because when I look into the outside world they always talk about hey, are you certified, for example if I want to do any installation or migration or anything, the first question they raise is okay, are you an HANA certified? That's the question.
Question by question I'll answer.
That's
okay. I'm pausing your question right now. Sure. Okay, let me answer the question.
Yeah. Because
can go for I'm going to answer because I don't want to confuse everybody. Sure. You can give me the questions in more questions, no problem. Let me answer your question.
Yeah.
You can go for HANA certification straight away after the session, no doubt about that. Okay, and for HANA migration, there is no need to be a migration certified consultant. For other migrations, you need a migration certified consultant and you need to be certified in the migration. Let's say, for example, I'm going with a Sybase migration, okay, a regular Oracle to Sybase migration. You need to be a certified migration consultant when you are going to attempt that. Whereas when you are going for a HANA migration, you need not be a migration consultant. There is no such rule in the HANA. Just to encourage HANA in the SAP world, they remove that. If somebody asks, you can get that point, go to the SAP site. If you want, I can show you. Or go to HA250 or some other concept. You have straight away the topic which is mentioned by an SAP. For doing HANA migration, you need not to be a migration certified consultant. That is very clear. If somebody asks whether is their interest, that is the reality.
Yeah, because in reality, this is what I'm facing. Okay, whenever I check.
No, that's the reality. You don't need to be when you are going for HANA migration. You don't need to be a migration consultant. That is the reality. Ask them to check with SAP America or SAP Canada or SAP Germany.
Okay. Because for
next question.
Yeah. Even for the installation, like okay, you need to be a certified, or or like okay, is it matter for that one?
It does not matter. Okay. It does not matter. When the consultants ask for a certification, there are various reasons. Okay. People will feel certification is valid in various reasons. People feel if you have a certified, oh, he undergone some kind of an exam where he was able to pass.
Okay.
Always an experienced guy is no need to be a certified every time. If that process is continued like 10 years, 15 years, I need to finish more than 30, 40 certifications by this day. It matters only when they don't believe us. If they really know, you don't need to be certified. In HANA world, people ask for certification and HANA certification is very simple compared to any other.
Okay.
Definitely you can go for a certification. That's what it was referring to HA 250, 200, 900. Why I was referring the numbers is after the course you can go for a certification and you can write the certification exam. It's not so difficult. HANA certification, as far as I know. Okay. And everybody asks in the interview various reasons and various questions, which sometimes are relevant, sometimes no comments.
No, because this is a factor which I was facing. Okay, it's not like okay. I gone through the course and it's not like okay. Thoroughly, I just gone through these courses. Course means okay. I'm not an online course, but okay. I know much more and where I am working. Okay, we had this HANA implemented and pretty much like okay, day to day admin. HANA administration, we will take care. But still, okay, when it comes to the outside world, okay, here, if I'm looking outside, then this is where I'm facing actually.
So basically, HANA certification you can write after this session also. Once I'm done with the session, that's why you can go through the topics which I mentioned here. Okay, not even one topic which is which I missed basically for your certification to write. You can just go through that. I didn't miss not even one small topic where you can just say this is not covered as a part of my certification.
Yeah, I was looking at all the topics, definitely like most of the things, like what I have much covered. And one more question, Kumar, like when it comes to the hardware vendors we are talking about, there is one thing like, okay, if, for example, like, okay, at my place, we are using with like, operating system, as you said, SUSE Linux, that's the, the standard operating system that we, as HANA is installed, but when it comes to the hardware vendors, okay, we are using Cisco. So how far these hardware vendors, they differ? Like, for example, I work on a Cisco. How flexible I will be, like, okay, when it comes to working on the other hardware, like it could be a other hardware vendors like Fujitsu or HP.
All are same.
All are same.
Okay. In terms of high availability,
okay,
apart from that concept,
okay,
any vendor is same for you. Only in terms of high availability, your HP is different, IBM is different, Fujitsu is different, your Cisco is different.
okay.
So that's what the concept number 13. Okay, I mentioned also that word. I think if you recap that, in terms of a scale out disaster recovery, DR, only that point of time your hardware and the procedure which you are going to use matters. And the rest of the time, you don't know how exactly your hardware, basically what kind of a hardware you need, and you are working also.
Okay.
It can be of the standard specified vendors like 7 to 8, 9 by an SAP like Fujitsu, whatever it is, Hitachi.
Okay.
Anybody is same for me, except my scale out and disaster place.
Okay. Even this backup,
yeah, anywhere is same, because all the operations which are, the type of the backup which are trying to do it, that's all matters. Okay, for example, when I'm trying to do my backup here as a file backup or a tape backup, what exactly the backup is, snapshot backup which you're trying to do. If I'm trying to backup here, it is going to come as a file backup. I can store it on my desktop.
Yeah, okay, I'm talking about the other backup, like, okay.
Yeah, so the type of a backup type which you are going to use, that only matters. Apart from that, I don't feel it about your other vendor are going to matter. So storage snapshots.
This backups also like varies, like, okay, I'm talking about not the file backup, the other backup, database backup. So it matters with the hardware vendors.
It will not matter with the hardware, basically here.
Okay. And one last question, I'd like to about is hardware sizing. I mean, like you mentioned, like, okay, a couple of times, like HANA sizing or the sizing. It's like
that is a factor.
Yeah, I'm trying to understand when it talks about the sizing. Okay, it's all like, okay, the resources we are talking about sizing.
No, the database. It is your previous database.
Okay.
And the forecasted database put together we are going to talk.
Okay, see, here is the simple thing, Kumar. Like when we start, like, okay, we really have a small footprint. It could be like, okay, no idea like, okay, what exactly their plan is initially, just, developing some high-level dashboards or something, which is pulling some data from some external databases. A small footprint, it may not be like, okay, 20, 30, or 40 GB, that is the small footprint, but later on they come across like, okay, English, okay, let's go into, yeah, I'm sorry, like, okay,
Yeah, it's obvious.
like sizing is just, I'm trying to understand, okay, when we have a plan, okay, hey, sizing, we go on with some in memory with this size, okay, later on the footprint has increased, and that company.
Okay, so you cannot change the hardware at this moment right now at that basically those kind of scenarios. But only thing is which you can try to do is which is required for your tables, which need to be loaded to the memory, which need to be unloaded from the memory. Those kind of concepts which you need to know. That's all. Because all of a sudden, if you're trying to replace the hardware again, the cost matters there. Okay, so they may not agree. Or you have to think about another server.
Okay.
Or you can think about the scenarios which are only required for the HANA. Those scenarios only to deploy.
Okay. I'm trying to differentiate what is HANA sizing or this is hardware sizing, one and the same.
Yeah, both are same.
When we started, like initially, it could be like, just we took an in-memory for 512 GB, okay, that's in memory that we started, but later on we come across a, they have a different plan, and the needs and requirements are keep on increasing, and more data is coming into the, HANA database. They want to pull from different directions, and, the more data coming in, more loads, and the memory.
Okay, let me tell in a very simple way. What is your ECC server sizing? What is the ECC server hard disk capacity, database capacity?
It's like near about 100
GB.
Yeah.
Then how come HANA is crossing 512 GB? If at all it is crossing, the users are doing something wrong.
No, I'm not talking about only ECC. I'm talking about other.
Okay, in a simple way to tell, HANA database is a compressed database.
Yeah.
If you are able to store 100 GB here,
okay,
for example in ECC, HANA will take 400 GB minimum.
Okay.
Capacity. It's a compressed database in HANA once you load it.
Okay.
So if at all, even the users are occupying 512 GB of your data,
okay,
so automatically what I have to say is there is no control for the administrator what exactly the users are trying to do.
Okay.
And that's what a data provisioning concept need to provide a control as an administrator. So what kind of a control an administrator is having, why the users, a regular ECC itself is 100 GB and definitely BW will not cross more than 250 GB in my experience, or 300 GB. Okay, so if at all a HANA database you are maintaining 512 GB, irrespective of the data marts or the database servers in your landscape, and normally we call it as 1:4 ratio of the compression of the HANA database. If it can take 100 here, it should take 400 here. So 400 GB of your ECC can store in the HANA. That's what the sizing means. A minimum thumb rule I'm saying. There are different ways the thumb rules can say. A minimum thumb rule which I'm saying a 1:4 ratio. In the 1:4 ratio, if still you are crossing that limit of the database sizing, somewhere the administrators are doing wrong thing and you are given a control to each and every one. And the users don't know how to use. You need to educate the users on the team.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah. Any other questions from anyone, or can we close the session for the day? Hey, Vardhan, I'm unmuting. Yes, Vardhan, please proceed.
Yes, sir. Do you cover SLD related concepts in this session?
Can you repeat the question?
Integration, SLD related configurations, sir. They are like integration and troubleshooting. They cover in this session? Like,
SLT or
SLD.
Yes, SLT, system landscape transformation. Yeah, we are covering that. It's a data provisioning concept. Yeah, we covered that.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions? Okay, thank you everyone for joining the session. Let's meet in the next session. Thanks everyone. Thank you. Bye-bye.